listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889. Thank you for listening to Community Forum. My name's Johnny Chandler. I'm the owner of KCCC 930 AM and the host of Community Forum. With me today, for the first time, Clorissa Osborn. Clorissa Osborn is a career ownership coach for the Entrepreneur Source here in Carlsbad. Did I get that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, but you have a lot more titles than career ownership coach. When you were telling me how to introduce you, you had like 7 words in there. And so I was able to boil that down to career ownership coach, but I want you to tell us what your title is, and then we'll get into what you do.
So I put on my LinkedIn page, I am a career ownership coach. That is my primary driver, what I do every day as part of my business. But that also makes me a small business owner.
Right.
And I call myself a recovering accountant because I feel like I have been beat up by the accounting profession and, you know, the whole corporate America and all of that. So I am now recovering from being an accountant.
All right, right. So you are with an organization, or you own an organization, a small business. It's called the Entrepreneur Source, right?
Yes.
Right. So first of all, we're going to get into what that is, but are you a franchisee?
I am a franchisee for the Entrepreneur Source.
So we're going to get into that. That doesn't make you any less of a small business. It just means there's like a national model to help you on your way to be successful.
That is correct.
All right. So before we get into the Entrepreneur Source career ownership coach, Clorissa, we need to know about you. Right.
Okay.
So where are you from? Were you born and raised in Carlsbad? What's the story?
No, I was actually born in Douglas, Arizona, but my dad was a miner that worked for Phelps Dodge at their smelter in Douglas.
Right.
They were building a new facility in Hidalgo County, about 30 miles south of Lordsburg. So I spent, from the time I was 2 until I went away to college, in a very small town called Playas, New Mexico, down in the Boot Hill. Okay,
so where would you go? Would you go to Silver City for resources, for groceries and stuff? Or where would you end up going?
Deming and Silver City.
Deming and Silver City, right. You never went into Arizona for...
Occasionally, we had family there, so...
Well, what's the closest major city to Playas in Arizona?
It depends on what you mean by major city.
I mean, like Tucson?
Tucson would be the closest.
How about a place with a Walmart, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
Las Cruces, actually.
Okay, Las Cruces was the closest one. Yeah, because Deming doesn't have one. Silver City doesn't have one. So you go to Las Cruces where you want a Walmart or Sam's Club, you got to stock up because they're pretty rural.
Absolutely.
All right, did you guys ever make long trips to Cruces to stock up?
Oh, yeah. School shopping every fall and Christmas, prom, those kinds of things. Yeah.
Now, New Mexico is full of small towns, right? It's part of the charm of New Mexico, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I graduated from Clovis High School. I went to college in Portales, right, before moving to Albuquerque. None of those towns quite as small as the one that you're referencing.
No, I actually lived in a company-owned town site.
Right.
So they had their own community store and gas station, a bowling alley, and that was the only place to go out to eat was at the bowling alley.
You know that country song? I owe my soul to the company store.
Absolutely.
Does that like sum up a little bit about
your life
as a young person, right? The resources are there, but it's through the company. You may not even have to pay; they'll just take it out of your check for you. How convenient!
Did for a long time.
Convenient for you to forget how much money you're spending with the company that pays you.
Absolutely.
But I mean, so all joking aside, how did the mining industry treat your family then? Like, how was it for you guys?
It was absolutely amazing. My dad worked there for 24 years, retired from Phelps Dodge, or it had been bought out by Freeport-McMoran at that time, but,
Some large company. Very,
very lucrative at that time for someone without a college education.
Right. And so, I mean, let's not stop there. Eddy County is still in that type of situation.
Absolutely.
Right? We have mining here within WIP, Mosaic, Intrepid. We have some surface mines, but you don't have to worry about a college degree and can really get a good career through oil and gas as well, of course, and then support your family through hard work and blue-collar labor.
Absolutely.
Right,
absolutely, which is what brought my husband and I here.
Right. Okay. Oh, good. Let's get into that. So you left. You said you left and went to college. You were in that small town and you went to college. Mm-hmm. Where did you go to college?
I started as a freshman at Adams State University.
Yeah, up in Durango. Is that Durango?
Alamosa.
No, Alamosa. Okay.
Alamosa, Colorado. Had a little too much fun that freshman year, and then came home closer to home, and went to Doniana Branch, and I earned an associate's degree through there.
Great. You would not be the first person that had too much fun their first and second semester of college as a freshman. I don't
Probably
know.
won't be the last.
Oh, I
either.
know, but I don't know how I made it through my first year. I got pretty lucky. So, okay, so you went and got your associate's degree from Doñana County Community College or
Yeah,
NMSU?
absolutely.
Okay, Doñana County. So what did you specialize in with your associates?
I got an associate's in secretarial administration with a legal emphasis. So
Okay, great.
I
So,
thought
like-
I wanted to be a legal secretary.
Yeah, or a paralegal or something like that, and maybe eventually be a lawyer if that was going to be your career.
Right.
Okay, so help us through there. When did you meet your husband?
Circuitous route through there. I went back to work at Phelps Dodge.
Okay.
After I graduated, I couldn't find a job at that time. I had no experience, so
Well, how many jobs are there in that region where you moved back home to?
not where I was, but in Las Cruces, I was trying to find a job as a legal
Okay.
secretary,
Right,
but with
right.
no experience, no one wants to hire you.
Yeah.
So they had a data entry position at the smelter where my dad worked, and it was easy because I could move back in with mom and dad.
Yeah, right,
and
right.
So I went to work. I worked there for 11 years before they actually shut that plant.
Wow, so that's why you left. So 11 years. Imagine if that was still open, you may have made a career out of that.
I very well could
Did
have.
you enjoyed it that much?
I worked my way into payroll, and it was something that I enjoyed. I knew everybody, but it was a safe space for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that made me get out of my comfort zone or whatever.
Yeah.
It was people that I'd grown up with. And
So you met your husband there?
no, actually, I met him in Tier C.
Okay, on like a trip, a vacation, or what?
My parents, when they closed the plant in Playas, we opened an archery pro shop in Tier C.
Wow.
And so my parents bought a home there. They'd never owned a home because we rented from
Right,
the
right,
company. And so we moved there. We opened our shop. My mom went on a consultant basis and was working with credit unions. I met my husband at a bar
Nice.
in Tier C because he was there for a fishing tournament.
Okay, so he was not from TRC. He just
No.
happened to be in TRC.
Absolutely. He
Nice.
grew up in Silver City, outside of Silver City.
Silver City is such a beautiful little place. I'm a really huge fan of Silver City. I'm a fan of a lot of places in New Mexico, but I will tell you, you are New Mexico. You're New Mexico true. You're tried and true
Absolutely.
New Mexico. You were born in New Mexico?
Born in Douglas, I was.
Oh, right. You mentioned the Douglas thing, but the Douglas thing was like a blip on the radar. You're a New Mexican.
Absolutely. I've
Okay,
been here.
Wonderful.
I'll be 52 this year, and I've
Yeah.
lived here probably 45 out of those 51.
Yeah. So you met your husband at a bar in TRC because he was there for a fishing tournament, right? And then, so what did he do as a career? Was he?
He's a mechanic.
He was
He
a
actually
mechanic.
works out at Intrepid. He is
Okay.
a heavy duty mechanic, heavy equipment mechanic out there.
Yeah.
We lost our job in copper because we
Yeah.
had been briefly in Morenci, and the housing crash in 2008 was devastating to the copper industry.
Right.
So I had worked with someone that was at that time working here at Intrepid, and she said, "We got jobs here. Why don't you come over here?" So we came over here, and that was in 2009, and we're still here.
Okay. How do you like it?
It's just like anywhere else. It's got its good things and bad things. It has been a really good place for our kids to raise our kids. It still has that small town mentality, but it's got enough services and stuff to keep people engaged.
Right. Okay.
So,
All right. I'm going to agree with you there. Like that. I mean, any community has some negatives, so we're not going to harp on those.
No.
But there are some real positives here in Carlsbad.
Absolutely.
And we're literally an oasis in the desert. We're not making that up. It's literal. We have a spring-fed river, right? Like right there. So we're an oasis, which makes it beautiful, which makes us, in my opinion, a lot more beautiful than a lot of other communities in New Mexico. The
Right.
water's just, the water's water. You know how we are with water. Humans and
absolutely.
water, right? It makes a big difference. So, let's get back to the entrepreneur source then. The entrepreneur source is your business. Is it a franchisee? But you're the only one operating that in Eddy County.
that I am the only one in Eddy County, and there's only 2 other coaches in New Mexico.
Okay. All right. So if you moved here in 2009, what did you do up until you started this business, and when did you start the entrepreneur source?
So I started the Entrepreneur Source. I bought into my franchise in November of last year.
Okay. So November 2024.
Yes.
New franchise. Okay.
New franchise. And I have worked for Intrepid since 2009. I started as a process statistician with the Surface Department. And I was at that time working on my bachelor's degree in accounting. Finished that in 2010, and I moved into the accounting department at that time. And I have had, increasing roles with that department since. When I
still-
left, I was an
Oh, you
assistant
left.
controller.
I was going to ask if you still work there.
I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
Was the business prompted your departure from Intrepid? What made you want to take that jump? This is a big leap from a real secure W-2 job.
It is.
Right, to being a business owner. And I can speak to that because I did the same thing when I bought the radio station.
Right.
I never owned a business before. I bought this radio station and I gave up my very comfortable W-2 job that came with health insurance, that came with retirement and all that stuff. Now, since your husband still works at Intrepid, I don't need to ask you this. We know that he's still getting those benefits.
Absolutely.
You can be roped into his health insurance, which is great.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's a real nice safety net for somebody jumping off to a new business. But I say all this because when you jump into being an entrepreneur and you start your own business, first time ever, you're taking a risk, right? It's a big risk. And I also want to state for the record, most people don't take that risk till they're in their 40s.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So we don't take those risks until we feel comfortable as adults and we know what we want to do in our life.
Absolutely.
All right. Enough about all of that. I want to know about the Entrepreneur Source, what this is about, and what you feel like you could do as a career ownership coach for community members.
Okay. So, what the Entrepreneur Source does, it started as a business back in the 80s by our founder, Terry Powell. And he was working as a franchise broker at that time. And he felt that the broker that he was working with at that time was missing out on giving the gift of franchising to people who just needed some education on what franchising was about, how you get into it. There was just, at that time, McDonald's was our model for franchising,
okay.
right?
Yeah,
and that's
sure.
still how people
they basically invented the franchise.
Absolutely.
Right.
So when people think about franchising, they think about fast food and French fries.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, because almost all of them franchise out.
Absolutely.
Right? A lot of them do. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
So he felt that there was another group of individuals who really wanted to be a business owner, but they didn't know how, and they didn't have the support. They were really afraid, as you said, of getting into that space, especially if they didn't have support in the areas where they knew they did not have experience.
Right.
And franchising gives you the chance to shore those up while still allowing you some flexibility to build your business.
Right. Excellent. So, but I still don't know what the Entrepreneur Source does. Tell me what you guys do.
So what we do is we talk to people who are looking for a career transition. We call them seekers. They're looking for their next career transition. And what I do is coach them into understanding, what is your goal with this transition? What do you want from your income? What do you want for your lifestyle? Accumulated wealth, equity, right? Those short and long-term goals that are important. People have to understand where they're going in order to find a path to get there.
Right.
So that's where we start. And then we talk about all of the options that are available. That does include the job market, which is accessible and huge, right? There's also investment opportunities, but then there's this other space, business ownership and entrepreneurship, that people have this fear around getting into, and we provide some education. And franchising is a gift in that it's kind of like a business in a box, right? It comes with, if you get into the right one, the one that matches with kind of your values and your goals, an opportunity to be a business owner, but still have the support in the areas, like I said, where you don't have that expertise. So we guide them through understanding what it is they're looking for.
Okay.
And then we put them in touch with those franchisors who are looking for other people.
All right. Walk me through this. I think I'm starting to catch an idea of what you're doing. There's one time a while back, I signed up for some website or signed up for some email list, and like once a week they would send me a franchise of the week. Right?
Oh, okay.
And then you had an opportunity to kind of look into that franchise or something, right?
Okay.
So let's walk me through this. Johnny Chandler is interested in taking a different path in life, right? I'm not sure which way that goes, but I know that I could use some assistance, maybe an ownership coach, right, that can help me point in that direction. So I reach out to you, I meet with you. What's the first step?
First step is we have an introductory call where I just find out if what I have to offer is something that you're even willing to participate in.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Once we establish that, then I send you some assessments where you identify a communication style, so I can meet you where you're at.
Got it.
And then the second assessment is called a U 2.0, as if you were building Johnny 2.0. What do you want in those contexts of income, lifestyle, wealth, and equity?
Right. Okay. And then, so we identify all that, right? And so then what do? You give me certain paths or options?
I give you the first thing that I give you is a vision statement. This is the overarching thing. This is the vision of what you want. And then we talk about your mindset about job market, investment opportunities, business ownership. Have you ever thought about business ownership before?
Through your assessments, through the entrepreneur source, you guys then through these assessments identify, like we meet you where we're at. What I'm saying, you identify the strengths and weaknesses of this individual, and you also identify their passions, right?
Part of it, yes.
Right? And
absolutely.
Then as a result of who this individual is, which you've taken considerable amount of time to learn to make sure of, you can then point them in the direction of where you think they should go.
We point them in the direction of several franchises that can meet their goal. So and that is the difference between what I do and what a franchise broker does.
Got it. Okay, so now we're going to get to the point here. So if you want to be a business owner, there are thousands and thousands of franchisees out there, franchisors that are looking for franchisees.
Absolutely.
Right? There's a lot of them out there, and there's a lot of opportunity. So you have a direct connection into these franchisees. So if I'm looking to start a business, start two things here, right? Starting a business from scratch versus starting a business from a franchisee. There's really different models there, right? So if you're going to start a business from scratch, that's great. Good for you. But a franchisee is going to give you the framework, right?
Yes.
Probably the branding materials,
all
right?
The branding materials.
And you're going to end up paying for the franchisee, and you're going to get a percentage of your profit, and then some of it goes to the franchisor, and the rest of it goes to you.
Correct.
That is the McDonald's model.
That is the franchise model. That's how
so
it
you
works.
guys do that. So you obviously have specific franchisees that you, as the entrepreneur source, are kind of wanting to represent more than others. Do you have a list of them?
We have a portfolio of 250 different brands.
I was going to ask you how many you had, so good job.
Over 250 brands with different franchise development groups that we work with. And our point, again, differentiating us from a franchise broker.
Okay.
Franchise brokers try to match you up, and they are working with a ready, willing, and able, which they are ready to pull the trigger right now.
Okay.
What we do is provide a safe space for you to learn about what franchising is, what options are available, so then you have a better comfort level with the risk that comes with owning a business.
Okay. So I reach out to you. We have an initial phone call, right? I'm sure that initial phone call is of no cost to anybody.
It is
right?
no cost.
So then you're like, all right, this is what I can do for you. Would you like to move forward? Then there's a sign-up portion, right? And then probably a little bit of money that comes associated with that in order to pay. So tell me, that is, I'm interested. First of all, how do you make money? We're going to get to that. But more importantly, how often can I work with you before there's some type of money associated with having to pay to get this done? Explain that to me.
So my service is no cost to the seeker, the person that I'm working with.
Okay.
No cost at all. So once we start talking about those vehicles for success, you know, job market, investments, if you decide, you know what, business ownership, not for me, I do have partners that work in the job market space, executive recruiters. Now, if I refer you to that executive recruiter and you decide to partake in their services and you pay for that, I earn a referral fee.
Okay, great. I understand. Okay.
Right? Same thing on the franchisor space.
Yeah.
I worked with you and you've decided, hey, I want to look at these franchises and see if any of those works for me. If you decide to invest in a franchise and you are awarded a franchise, because that's another myth that we work with, franchisees are not purchased; they are awarded by the franchisor.
You gotta have you gotta hit the key marks, right? And so So that means that why would you not hook up with the entrepreneur source first if you're interested in a franchise? Because then they're going to make sure you hit all those marks before you even get too far.
Absolutely.
Right. So you're a commission-based individual.
Basically,
you make money off of referrals, which means you make money off of commissions. Right?
Absolutely.
Now, can you tell me? I know you just started, so I'm not expecting big numbers out of you yet. But you know what I mean. But so how's it been?
You know what? I am still meeting with people and working those people through the process that we use to get them where they need to be.
Yeah. So
I have not
you
had
haven't
a
landed.
placement
You haven't
yet.
landed one yet. But
No.
So the average time to probably land a placement for the entrepreneur sources, it's not just 4 months, right? It's probably longer.
It is.
Yeah. So, I want to be positive about this. Are you feeling a little discouraged because you're hustling and it hasn't come through yet?
I actually am not. I'm actually love getting up every day. I get to talk to anywhere from 2 to 15 different people every day. I would not have said, and probably the people I work with would not have said that I was a people person, but I am actually loving the work that I'm doing every day.
I think you're a people person. You literally showed up here at Southeast New Mexico College, reminder to everybody, KCCC records at Southeast New Mexico College. We have a partnership with them. You showed up here on your own fruition, on your own will, ready to try to make that next step, try to market your business a little bit
Absolutely.
more, right? Going out there and doing that and meeting strangers, that is hustling, right? That is getting out of your comfort zone. That does make you a people person. Now, if you were not a people person when I first met you, I'm not sure that you would be here right now.
And that may very well be true. I am generally a results-oriented person. So, that activity helps produce results.
Yeah. Have you done any work with the Small Business Development Center here on campus?
I did meet with
Della?
with Della, yeah. And actually, I'm gonna hopefully catch up with her before I head home to talk to some other people today. But yeah, I'd love to be able to partner with anyone who is looking to use my services.
We will always support you here at KCCC because you are literally doing something local for the community. And you know what I think is real important as well? Carlsbad, like we said, it's a great place, but there's something anybody could talk about the dents in every community. Every community has dents, right? But we need more services. There's more stuff that we could use in this community that you probably have access to. And so if you want to, and I would say that this community is prime. If you're listening, it's prime to start a business. We are booming. We are the economic engine of New Mexico. We have a great economy compared to the rest of the state.
Absolutely.
Hobbs has got one too, right? But we like Eddy County better. But the idea is that there's money to be made here, and
Absolutely.
there's businesses and there's services that need to be done. We don't have enough. We almost don't have enough of anything, right?
And that's true.
We have a little bit of everything, but I'm not sure we have enough of anything, right?
I would agree with you.
You go to Walmart on a Saturday, we wish we had two. Right. You know what I
or
mean?
Albertsons for that matter.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Or if you go to a restaurant on Friday night, you're going to wish we had five different ones,
just
right?
exactly like them.
Fair enough. Just because we cannot keep up because we are booming here, right? And there's a lot of opportunity, and this is a really good time to take that risk to start a business, right? I took that risk in 2021. The radio station's been really great. The community's been great. I think it's doing good. So I can attest to the idea of making it worth it. Take that risk,
It's worth looking at. There's no obligation to the services that I offer. There's no obligation for you to take and invest anything. The only investment that you have in talking with me is your time.
Well, and you're so friendly. I don't even know. I mean, you're so easy to talk to and friendly and outgoing, all that good stuff. So if I'm interested in working with Clorissa Osborn, the career ownership coach at the Entrepreneur Source, right? How do I get a hold of you? How do we get started? So
my email address is Clorissa Osborn at esourcecoach.com.
esourcecoach.com. Clorissa, Clorissa Osborn.
Yes.
At
esourcecoach.com.
esourcecoach.com. Okay. Better than the Entrepreneur Source. That'd be a really long .com. So esourcecoach.com. Wonderful.
Right. Get in touch with me and I can direct you to my website that has things that you can look at just to see if you're interested.
Go ahead and give us the website too, just so if you want to get started there, or do you want them to email you first?
I don't
Nope,
have it
it's
off
okay.
the top
So-
of my head.
So email you first, and then you'll send you a link to the website.
Absolutely.
Right, okay.
Or you can find me on LinkedIn.
Got it?
That's probably the easiest
Well, give me
way.
your LinkedIn info. How do I find you on LinkedIn?
My LinkedIn is Clorissa Osborn. If you type in TES and Clorissa Osborn with a CLO, not a CLA.
Yeah, right. Clorissa,
Yes.
right?
You will find me, and you can get a link to my website to book an appointment, to the resources that I have. I have podcasts and funding
Great.
options and all kinds of things on my website that
Okay.
you can take a look
And
at.
we will make sure to share all of that whenever this episode airs to make it easier for people to get to.
Awesome.
You know, we're getting pretty close to the end of time. That's already been 25 minutes.
Wow.
I know. I make everybody feel comfortable that way. Nobody knows
That
the
was
time
easy.
goes by
You
so
made it
fast.
easy.
But we're not done yet because I need you to close out. I need you to sell the community on why you are somebody they should reach out to when they're looking to take that next step in their career.
Well, I'm someone who lives here. I worked here. I know the people. I know the environment that we are working in. Like you said, there's not enough of any one thing here, and there is opportunity for people to get into business, whether they are at the end of their, they're getting ready for retirement, but they don't want to sit at home.
Yeah,
Or-
you made a really good point. Individuals that join a police department or a fire department or Intrepid and Mosaic, right, at 18, 19, 20 years old, retire at 45.
Absolutely.
Right. You know
or
what I
they
mean?
could.
You can. I mean, you can last longer, make a little bit more money, but you're eligible for a pension and everything at the end of 45. Right. So, I mean, I don't know exactly how the minds work, but you can do a whole career, 45, 50, be done with that career. You've got 25, 30 years left of work to really start something separate with a foundation already behind you.
Yep, absolutely. And we work with husband and wife teams. We work with father and son teams. We work with mother-daughter teams to start businesses that, they can build a legacy together with a family member as well, or, best friends.
Right.
So the opportunity is here to build Carlsbad in your local community, but have brand names that maybe we don't have right now.
Right. And there's plenty. There'll be plenty of brand names that our community doesn't have. I just also want to preface before we end this program that no one ever pays to come on Community Forum, right? And I say that because we are promoting your business and we are promoting a private business,
Right.
which I think is great because I want everybody in Eddy County to succeed, government, private, nonprofit. But this might sound a little bit like a commercial, but you have not paid for this. This is because we help the community. And if you're doing something local, we want to hear about it.
You're doing a great job here. I mean,
Well, I don't need the compliment, but I just want to state that, like, you have a private business. You did not pay to come on this program because we are a news program that helps local businesses succeed as much as possible.
No, we just had a conversation when I came looking for interesting in the podcasting class.
Are you going to take my podcasting class?
I am. I am signed up.
Are you already signed up? Okay.
I already signed up for Tuesday.
For Tuesday. So Tuesday, March 4th, if you're listening to this, it's March 18th because we pre-record.
Oh, that's
It's
right.
not a big deal, but it's never too late to join the podcasting class. We teach it every semester here at SCNMC, and you're going to have a great time.
I am looking forward to it.
So, Clorissa Osborn, career ownership coach, the entrepreneur source. You can reach out to her at Clorissa Osborn at esourcecoach.com. All right. Thank you very much, Clorissa.
Thank you.
You're listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889.